Joanna was astonished and pleased. She went upstairs to find George and tell her. George didn't believe her. All the same, she went downstairs with Joanna, curious to see if the two animals were becoming friends, and she saw a very strange sight indeed. Mischief was on Timmy's back, and Timmy was solemnly trotting round the kitchen, giving him a ride.
Go faster! Timmy, go faster!
Oh, stop it, Timmy, you look silly.
Now Timmy's upset. He thinks you're cross with him, and he's gone to lie down.
And the little monkey has settled himself between Timmy's front paws.
Look, Timmy is licking him.
See that, George? Now don't you scold him now for being big-hearted enough to make friends with a little creature who stole his bone.
I'm not going to scold him. He's the best dog in the world. Aren't you, Timmy, darling?
Hooray!
Be quiet, you little nuisance. You'll have Professor Quentin in here if you honk like that. Can't you be something quiet, like a bicycle?
Yes! The-ling, 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 the-ling.
What is going on? Who's ringing that bell? This is the last straw. First this boy ringing bells all over the place and George encouraging him by laughing. Fanny, send these children away somewhere, do you hear? Send them away, and that's my last word.
Aunt Fanny had appeared during the row, and sighed when she heard her husband shouting. She took Joanna, the 5 children and Timmy into the living room to decide what could be done. The discussion began. George spoke first.
Can't we take tents over to Kirin Island?
The weather forecast is very bad. You can't possibly go and camp in the pouring rain.
Well, if we can't go to Kirin Island, or back home, or stay here, where can we go?
I know where we could go.
Where?
To my lighthouse.
Tinker, this is no time for jokes.
It's not a joke.
But, Tinker dear, you can't possibly own a lighthouse.
Well, I do. You see, my father had some special work to do that couldn't be done on land, so he bought an old empty lighthouse. I went to stay with him. It was great there.
But surely he didn't give it to you?
Yes, he did. He didn't want it any more, and nobody would buy it. I wanted it very badly, so he gave it to me for my last birthday.
A lighthouse of your very own? Where is it?
Along this coast to the west. The old lamp is still there, but it's not used now.
Why not?
Because a big new lighthouse was built further along the coast, in a better position for warning ships. We could take Timmy and Mischief too. There's plenty of room.
Aunt Fanny, may we go?
Well, I don't know. I shall have to discuss it with Uncle Quentin, and with Tinker's father too.
My father will say yes, I'm sure. We left some stores there, and some blankets.
I think it sounds like the answer to our problem.
Lots of ships were wrecked on the rocks the lighthouse is built on. Wreckers used to shine a light as if to guide ships along the coast, and make them go on the rocks.
The wicked wretches.
There's a wrecker's cave there too, where the wreckers stored the things they stole from the wrecked ships.
Well, dears, I really don't see any reason why you shouldn't go to Tinker's lighthouse, if his father agrees.
Oh, Mother, thank you. I shall take my binoculars and keep a watch for ships.
It will be marvellous.
Aunt Fanny went to the study to see if her husband and Professor Hayling could talk about the children going away to the lighthouse. She could hear voices in the room, but nobody called "come in" when she knocked at the door. The 2 scientists were obviously far too busy to bother with anyone. Aunt Fanny went into the kitchen to find Joanna.
Joanna, what do you think about this lighthouse idea? A very good idea. Yes, but do you think they'll be all right alone there, Joanna? Well, Julian and Dick are old enough to look after the others. I feel very mean sending George and the others away immediately they came here, but with 2 excitable scientists in the house, I don't see that there's anything else to do. That monkey! He's knocked the bowl off the top of the cupboard.
What was that crash? What's happening in here? Is everybody going mad?
Listen, Quentin, nobody's mad at present, but pretty soon we all shall be.
Now, what?
Quentin, I've something important to say to you. Tinker says his father gave him a lighthouse and suggests that he and all the others should leave here and go and stay in it.
A lighthouse? Are you mad?
It's quite true. Will you go and ask Professor Hayling if he thinks it's suitable for the children to stay in?
Very well.
What's happening, Mother? We heard a crash and Father shouting again.
Just wait, George. Your father has gone to speak to Professor Hayling about the lighthouse.
Oh, I do hope they agree.
Shh, he's coming back.
Father, listen. We'll all get out of your way as soon as possible, if you'll say we can go to Tinker's lighthouse.
Yes, go to the lighthouse. Go and live in the zoo if you like, but go somewhere.
Oh, thank you. We'll go as soon as we can.
I'm delighted. And so is Professor Hayling.
What a hullabaloo! Well, it's a good thing they'll soon be off. That loft is much too draughty for the boys. Poor Julian can hardly turn his head this morning.
Who cares? We'll soon be off again together, all the 5, and 2 more to keep us company. It will be quite an adventure.
Let's go into the living room and make our plans.
Now, Tinker, tell us a bit more about the lighthouse.
It's very tall, and there's a stairway, a spiral one, going from the bottom up to the top. At the top, there's a little room for the lamp that used to flash to warn ships away.
It sounds smashing. I wonder if Timmy will be able to climb the spiral stairway.
Well, he can live down at the bottom if it's too difficult for him to climb up.
If Timmy has to live at the bottom, I shall live there with him.
Why not wait and see the lighthouse first, before you arrange sleeping places, George?
Yes, you're right.
Now, first we must find out exactly where it is.
I've got a rough map in my pocket. Look.
It's a bit small and scruffy.
We've got a big map of the coast in that drawer.
Let's see. It wouldn't be far by sea, but by road it's a very long way.
Better go by car, though. We've got a lot of luggage to take. Not only clothes, but crockery and things like that. And food.
Dad left some stores there when we went away.
They'll probably have gone bad.
Well, don't take too much. It's a pretty rough way over the rocks to the lighthouse, and we shall have to carry everything ourselves. We can always get fresh food from the village. It's not far away.
Can we always walk out to the lighthouse over the rocks?
No, there are some days when you can't even leave the lighthouse. The waves splash house high over the rocks when there's a strong wind. We'd have to get across by boat, if the tide's in. The rocks are covered then.
This sounds too exciting for words. When shall we go?
Why not tomorrow morning? We'll see about a car and someone to drive us, and then we'll pack and make our getaway.